What if Tupac never left us? Not only alive, but holding files so explosive they could bring down hip hop's biggest moguls, Diddy and Jay-Z. For nearly 3 decades, rumors have swirled about Pac's disappearance, but the latest whispers suggest this was never just about survival. It may have been a long game, planned, calculated, and aimed at exposing the darkest secrets of the music industry. And if even part of it is true, the shockwaves could destroy everything we thought we knew about rap, power, and fame. For years, whispers have placed Tupac far from Las Vegas, living quietly under the Cuban sun. Havana street photos have surfaced, grainy, blurred, but always enough to spark debate. Some claim Pac sought political asylum under Fidel Castro's protection, hidden away from the chaos of American fame, and the inconsistencies from 1996 only fuel the theory. The autopsy listed a height and weight that didn't match Pac's real stats. The cremator who handled his body mysteriously disappeared right after the so-called cremation, and Suge Knight, who was sitting right next to Pac when the shots rang out, has publicly insisted more than once that Pac never died that night. But here's where it gets even darker. These aren't just random rumors. More and more voices are saying Pac's disappearance connects directly to the rise of Diddy and Jay-Z. Whispers say Tupac didn't just vanish, he left with evidence. Hidden journals, tapes, maybe even contracts that reveal who betrayed him and why. Some call them the Diddy Files, a collection of secrets that could unravel hip hop's most powerful empires. The rumors suggest these files don't just name names, they detail dates, payoffs, and backroom deals that turned Pac into a target. Stories circulate online that the tapes are locked away in Cuba, protected like state secrets, waiting for the right moment to be unleashed. And if that's true, this isn't about nostalgia or a comeback, it's about revenge, the kind that could shatter Diddy's legacy, pull Jay-Z into the fire, and force the entire industry to answer for decades of manipulation. But before that reckoning, one man stands at the center of the storm, and it's Diddy himself. For years, people whispered about Diddy's shadowy influence. But in March 2024, those whispers turned into headlines when Homeland Security raided multiple properties tied to him. Suddenly, the rumors of corruption, abuse, and cover-ups were no longer just internet chatter. They were part of a federal investigation. Things escalated quickly. By May 5th, 2025, his criminal trial was underway, the kind of case that threatened to strip away the polished image he'd built over decades. And then came the breaking point. On July 2nd, 2025, a jury convicted him on 2 counts of transporting for prostitution, though he was acquitted on racketeering and trafficking charges. But here's where Tupac comes back into the picture. If those so-called secret files exist, and if they link Diddy to the 1996 Vegas shooting, then his legal battles are only the beginning. Because Pac wouldn't just expose him to the courts, he'd expose him to history, branding him not as a mogul, but as the man who silenced one of rap's greatest voices. And Diddy may not be the only one with everything to lose. When Tupac disappeared in 1996, hip-hop lost its loudest revolutionary voice. But that same year, another name quietly stepped into the spotlight, Jay-Z. His debut album Reasonable Doubt dropped in June 1996, just months before Pac's last public appearance in Las Vegas. To some, it looked like perfect timing. As the East Coast-West Coast feud dominated headlines, Jay stayed in the shadows, building his empire brick by brick. By the early 2000s, he wasn't just a rapper, he was running Roc-A-Fella, launching Rockaware, and carving a path straight to billionaire status. But critics have long wondered, would that empire have been possible if Tupac had stayed in the game? Some theorists argue Pac's absence cleared the runway. With Biggie gone and Pac out of the picture, Jay-Z became the safe bet for the industry. rising without the competition of two dominant icons. And now, with whispers of Pac's hidden files, fans speculate that Jay's empire might not just be built on hustle, it might also stand on the silence of those who came before him. And if Pac really does return, Jay-Z could face questions that money and power can't bury. As the theories spread, the story doesn't stop with Diddy and Jay-Z. Online sleuths have pieced together a bigger web, one that ties Pac's disappearance to a pattern of strange losses in the music world. Aaliyah's plane crash in 2001, Lisa Left Eye Lopes in 2002, even Michael Jackson's sudden passing in 2009. And here's the detail that conspiracy fans cling to. Many of these tragedies happened on or around the 25th, a number Tupac himself obsessed over. TikTok is full of claims that this isn't coincidence at all, but part of a hidden system designed to protect elite figures in entertainment while removing anyone who threatened to expose them. Some even whisper Beyoncé's name in connection to this so-called machine, pointing to her rise alongside Jay-Z as proof of a carefully orchestrated plan. Of course, none of this is verified. It's speculation fueled by fans who see patterns where others see accidents. But the idea is powerful. If Pac really has proof of how deep the industry's control goes, his return wouldn't just shake Diddy or Jay-Z. It could set fire to the entire system. And according to some theories, that's exactly what Pac planned from the start. What if Tupac's disappearance wasn't just about survival? Some believe it was a masterclass in strategy. Pac, a student of Machiavelli, may have staged his own death to step out of the public eye while studying his enemies, gathering evidence, and waiting for the right moment to strike. Years in exile, possibly in Cuba, would have given him time to collect documents, recordings, and insider knowledge, all pointing to corruption, manipulation, and betrayal at the highest levels of hip hop. Every interview, every backstage conversation, every deal could have been meticulously recorded, creating a map of a system built on exploitation. And now, decades later, he could return, not just to reclaim his story, but to challenge the very structure of the music industry. This isn't just revenge, it's a reckoning, a carefully calculated move designed to expose the truth and hold those in power accountable. The question isn't just if he's alive, it's whether the industry is ready for the storm he may bring. Tupac's alleged return isn't just about personal revenge. It could be a turning point for an entire generation of artists. For decades, musicians have been silenced by unfair contracts, stolen royalties, and manipulative executives. Young artists today fight harder for independence, ownership of their masters, and transparency. But many still struggle against the shadowy system Pac once warned about. If these secret files and recordings exist, Pac wouldn't just expose past wrongs, he'd validate the frustrations of countless creators who felt trapped and powerless. He could unite a fragmented resistance, turning scattered calls for justice into a coordinated rebellion against a system built to control, exploit, and silence. This alleged comeback isn't just a story about Tupac, Diddy, or Jay-Z. It's a cultural reckoning, one that could challenge the foundations of the music industry itself. And when Pac steps forward, he won't just be telling his own story, he could be igniting a movement that demands accountability and transparency across the board. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the world is watching. Everything we've explored points to a single chilling possibility. Tupac may not just be alive, he could be holding the power to topple hip-hop's most untouchable empires. From Havana whispers to alleged secret files, every piece of this story adds layers to a narrative that challenges what we've been told for decades. Imagine the impact if the files are real. Diddy, already facing the consequences of recent legal battles, could find his carefully built empire crumbling under evidence of betrayal and manipulation. Jay-Z, whose rise coincided suspiciously with Pac's disappearance, might be forced to answer questions about past deals and alliances that shaped the industry while the world watched. And beyond them, an entire system, from record labels to streaming platforms, could be scrutinized for the ways it has controlled, exploited, and silenced artists. But it's not just about punishment or revenge. If Pac's comeback is real, it represents something larger, a fight for truth, accountability, and justice. It's a story about resilience, strategy, and the courage to confront those who wield power behind closed doors. It could inspire a new generation of artists to reclaim their narratives, demand fairness, and expose the hidden mechanics of an industry that has long profited from secrecy. The stakes are higher than personal feuds, they're cultural, systemic, and historical. Tupac's alleged return would be a wake up call, forcing the world to question the stories we've been fed, the heroes we've admired, and the villains we never suspected. Is this the ultimate revenge, or a reckoning that the music world has long avoided? The truth, if it emerges, could change everything. And until then, the question remains, is Tupac truly back to settle old scores, or to reveal a system built on betrayal, secrecy, and power? Let us know what you believe in the comments, revenge or revolution, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to uncover more stories that the industry doesn't want you to hear.